every way. First of all, it's what I call CD ready. I mean, you didn't make any mistakes. It's clear. It's well memorized. Very well prepared. You know, especially in the case of Bach, there are really no answers because everyone has different opinions about how Bach should be played. Bach wrote in a time before it became customary to put down in notation all the details of what he wanted in his music, the dynamics, tempo marks, articulations. That only came into practice later. So we're really just all using our best intuition and judgment and imagination to bring the music to life. I think you did an excellent job, and when I hear Bach played as you played it, musically and with character and charm, I feel very happy because a lot of people do have the idea that Bach is supposed to be very intellectual and very mechanical, and you just play it in time and evenly, and that's all you have to think about. Then your job is done. But you shaped the phrases, you gave inflection, it had a dance-like quality, especially the fugue. So I liked all those things about your playing very much. Some things to think about. I felt a little too much of a tendency to increase the dynamics every time the line went up and decrease every time the line went down. Not all the time, but a little tendency. Were you thinking about that, doing that? Like, what were some of the places where you wanted to do that? At the very beginning? Okay, well, let me just propose not an opposite, but a sort of alternative view of music. Because the main determinant of direction in music, I think, is harmony rather than rise and fall. For example, suppose the music were this. Would the high note be? Or you see, in the left hand you do that, right? You do the second note a little lighter, don't you? Play the beginning. Exactly. You feel in the left hand very much one hand. Well, I think the right hand mirrors that precisely. the effect of that is that this piece, which is notated in 24/16, actually is in 2. 1, 2, not 24 beats in the measure. That's just, so, and not even 4 beats, or 8 beats. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, but a 1, 2, and as the whole line comes down, then you can come down with that whole line, and then surprise. Okay, try it again. Kind of light and cheerful and flowing. Can we hear a little bit more? A little more of that. Yeah, so it starts. Yeah. Break it up. Go up. Okay, yeah, I'd like that to surprise us a little bit. We're just going along merrily with a nice, isn't it sweet? We could just go on forever and on. So tender, So our job, however we each individually interpret it, our job is to respond to the music and be a guide for the listener. Like we're the tour guide for every piece we play. Tour guide. Have you ever thought you wanted to be a tour guide? That's what we are. We take people along the journey of whatever piece we're playing. Now, tomorrow I'm playing a 5-minute Mozart Fantasy and a 45-minute Schubert Sonata. You know, and that's a lot to take in. It's not like binge watching Game of Thrones. That's much long. People think, oh, 45-minute sonata, that's so long. And yet we go to the movies for 2.5 hours, or we binge watch programs. Or, it's really not that long. But it's, you know, you have to take people along and point out everything along the way so that it becomes interesting. So that, to me, is a little bit of a shocker. Play the measure before and then shock us a little bit with that diminished chord. first. It's not here, it's here. Don't you think it's so lovely? Don't you think it's so lovely? Even though they're seated in their seats and not dancing in the aisles. I don't see anyone dancing in the aisles yet. I'd like them to feel often as if they would like to. That they experience the music physically. And we experience the music physically in a very limited way, often from just the knuckles down, finger, finger, finger. I mean, you're not that kind of a player. You're much more musical than that. But just think of the gesture of the music wall. And remember, harmony is one of the main determinants. Where does the harmony change? Is it a resolution of a change? Or is it like this, a sudden intensification of the drama of the music? Okay, there it is. Now, the fugue. I was very pleased to hear that you played it really like a piece of music, not like an intellectual exercise. I mean, fugue is a process, but some people think, oh, it's a fugue. Well, I just have to bring out the voices, know where every voice enters, and play it clearly, and my job is done. But you really captured the gestures of the music very nicely, and it became, in my ears, a dance, which I think it is. Now, there's one little adjustment I would choose to make in the fugue. It may not be everybody's taste. I want you to play the fugue subject again. Yeah, okay. Now, what you're doing is showing me the lifts, Sometimes you can make the same point by slightly placing that syncopated note a little bit late, rather than just a little less accent.